You are listening to Mining Stock Education.
If the price of gold is, let's say, around $4,500 and $5,000, and if the price of the gold producers are going down, that might indicate that it's the end of the bullish phase. And the other thing is that when the major producer, the price of the major producers are neutral, or, it's stabilized, and at the same time, if the price of gold stabilize or become more volatile, I think it means that we are in difficulties. It's a shortness of breath.
Welcome to Mining Stock Education. My name is Brian Leni. Today with me, I have Jacques Bonneau, author of The Art of Investing in Junior Mining. In our conversation today, you will hear Jacques' views on the current market, conference week in Vancouver, how he's currently positioning his portfolio, and much more. Jacques, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Conference week just happened, 3 different shows. It kind of serendipitously lined up with a surge in metal prices, especially on the silver side. However, we've come home and we ended last week with a big drop. Maybe I've heard the biggest single drop that we've seen in a long time. We've seen some recovery in the last couple of days, but what are your thoughts on the market and where we are in the cycle?
Well, in Vancouver, I was there for almost 6 or 7 days, and it was more or less euphoria. People were very hyper. But to me, I remember the end of, let's say, 2011, 2012, when I used to go to these conventions. And I would say when I talk with my network, people that I know on the convention at that time, a lot of people were telling me that they were not able to find good companies in which to invest because everything was overvalued. Everybody was satisfied with the stock that they had, but it was very difficult to find a good company in which to invest and hopefully get 100% or 1,000%. And I think it's more or less the same feeling that I had in Vancouver. It doesn't mean that it was the end of the market, the bullish phase, but it's, as you know, probably it's a lot more difficult to find, good companies in which to invest. You have to take more risk, and you know that when you buy a company, you are taking more risk because the stock has already tripled or multiplied by 5 in the last 6 months. That was my, let's say, general feeling. But I found a couple of companies, and in this market, what I used to do normally is to try to find the companies that, to me, as a low market cap, that because they have good management and because of the potential of finding something on their projects, they can multiply by 5 or 10 if the drilling results are good. This is, again, it's quite tough to find, but I will mention some at the end, maybe of our meeting about these companies. There is no guarantee because it's a drilling bit. You never know what will happen. It's more risky, but it's what I'm doing right now. That's
So, you mentioned, harder to find stuff. There's sort of this euphoria in the market. When you come back and you've experienced that, does it force you to sell, or do you act in any other way when it comes to your portfolio management?
Yes. I think, well, I sold maybe in 2024, in September, I think October 2024, I started to buy a lot more in junior mining business, and especially the major gold producers, because it was in September 2024, the Fed in US, they started to cut the rate by, I think, 0.25% or 0.5%. And at that time, I read an article from the Gold Monitor that was mentioning that in 2001, 2007, 2020, when the Fed, the first cut rates by the Fed, the price of gold increased by an average of 32% in the next 2 years. Then when I see this, I say, well, okay, the price of gold is at $2,400. Then it means that maybe the price of gold will go up to $3,500. And then I started to buy the major companies, as I recommend to everybody. Then you start with the major producers, then after you go with the developers, and after you go with the junior companies. And I made a lot of money with Agnico Eagle, Franco-Nevada, Collective Mining, all these companies. And when it approached $3,500,000, I sold at least half of my position. And when it went up to, let's say, 3,700, I sold almost the rest. And I started to move my money to more junior exploration companies. But I sold too early. But I made money. I have to accept that because I was not thinking that the price of gold will go up to $5,000. But I know why. I did a lot of study about it, and now I know why. It's because of the best promoters in the world, called Mr. Donald Trump. He is promoting all metals. And then after, when the gold price is going up in a bullish phase, normally some other metals are going up, like lithium, like rare earth, like copper. And then I started to look at these companies with, let's say, a good copper asset or rare earth, and I started to buy these companies. And since that time, I sold some of them, but I'm still shareholders of all these companies. And as you know, last Friday, we get bad news with the price of gold going down by $500. Today, I think it's 250 up, and then it's a more volatile area. And I don't know what I will do, but I have a couple of notes here about where the gold price is going based on my small experience.
Sure.
But maybe the gold bullish phase, as Nat said, is its last word for me. Perhaps the gold price will continue to be driven by structural forces instead of cyclical forces or speculative forces. By structural forces, I note here that there is a central bank. If the central banks continue to accumulate gold, that will be a very good sign. If the Fed is lower the interest rate, it means that probably the US dollars will go down. And if the US dollars is going down, as you know, normally it's the price of gold is going up. And there is Trump. He is just, if he continues to isolate the US and create uncertainties everywhere, that might be good for gold. And technically also, the price of gold is still a lot of support, and it's still in a positive territory. Then to me, maybe I don't know what will happen with the price of gold, but I think it may go up again. It may go, probably it will, in 2026, I feel that the price of gold will move between 4,500 to maybe 5,500. And for the year, and maybe at the end it will go down. It depends on these structural things.
Right.
But that's my guess right now. It's why I'm not selling my shares. Today I see that all of my companies, they came back almost at the same level than it was before Friday. Then that's my guess, and I will tell you something more. I put something on the paper here because what you have to check, I think it's the price of the shares of the major gold producers and the price of gold. And here I have a list. It's if the gold shares of major producers are going up and the price of gold is going up, it means that we are in a bullish phase. Okay? If the price of the major producers are stabilized and the gold price is still going up, then it's suspicious market. We have to be careful. If the major producers, the price of their shares is going down and the price of gold stabilize, I think it's the end of the bullish phase. And I think that's one thing that you should check. If the price of gold is, let's say, around $4,500 and $5,000, and if the price of the gold producers are going down, that might indicate that it's the end of the bullish phase. And the other thing is that when the price of the major producers are neutral, or, it's stabilized, and at the same time, if the price of gold stabilize or become more volatile, I think it means that we are in difficulties. It's a shortness of breath. And I think now we are maybe the two last things, the end of the bullish phase or the shortness of breath. And we are in difficulties. And I think just means that you have to protecting your gains. You have to respect the market cycles. And you have to understand that sharp correction often arrive when confidence is highest. And it's what's happened last Friday when the price of gold went down by $500 and yesterday $200.
Right.
I'm not surprised to see the price of gold going up today, but we need more days to evaluate the situation. And I think in Vancouver, a lot of, maybe yourself, but a lot of people, let's say, writers of like you are doing, newsletter writer, a lot of them recommended to sell, let's say, half of their position to the shareholders, and that was I was surprised to see that, but I think everybody recognized that at $5,000 and more, it's fantastic, but you need a lot of power to push it up. It's anyway. That's my. I'm not an expert, but I'm just trying to understand myself because I'm going a course Friday in Laval University on the finance before the finance guy, just to how to invest in the junior mining business. And they asked me to talk about the gold. Then I have to do some homeworks before going this workshop.
So you covered a bunch of different strategies and different things for investors to look at. Now, like those strategies, is that something that you've learned through trial and error, or have you had mentors that have sort of put those markers in your head to look for, and you've accepted them yourself? What has been the evolution of your process?
Well, I would say in the first, let's say that I really started to invest in the junior mining business in 2004 when I retired. And for the first 10 years, no, I was just looking for the good companies. And I was not the guy that... Right now, I know that in this business, you have to make a lot of money when it's a bullish phase for the metals, when it's the flavor of the month for metals, or when you evaluate the personal. That's the three main things that you have to know before investing in this sector. You can make a lot of money by if you are in the bullish phase. When you are in the bearish phase, it's not a good time to really to be on this market. You may, on the consolidation phase, you may buy shares just waiting for the bullish phase, but you don't want to wait 5 years, right? Because the junior companies will be diluted. Then you have to time. It's better to be good in timing than to be good as an investor, I would say. It's right. But I don't remember your question, but yes, okay. It's I am learning from reading, really, and watching the interview, but I read a lot. I can tell you that. I am reading not everything, but because if you read everything, there will be something that will say, okay, the price of gold will go up, and next day somebody will tell you that, okay, it's going down. Then you have to pick up the best speakers, or the best, let's say, not promoter, but the best people. As we mentioned before, Chris Vermeulen, as he is a technical guy. He has a website. He is giving a lot of interview. I like him. It's a good guy to learn more about technical. I bought 2 of his books. I read it, and shit, I said, well, this is what I'm thinking. It's exactly how an investor should be. We should be a trader, not a day trader, but somebody that will buy a stock because you believe in it, and you keep it for 4 months, 6 months, a year, and then you have to sell it. It's that's the way it is in this business. And this guy, I think I learned a lot from him. I knew a lot, but I'm not a guy technical analysis. I'm not a guy that is looking to all the numbers there are. There's 1,000 techniques or 1,000 metals, but I'm just focusing on more or less on the volume of the stock, and the 50 and 200 moving average.
Right.
That's my 2 things. To me, it works very well. It's I did it with the lithium. I bought a lithium business 4 or 5 months ago, and because it was technically it was in positive territory. Mm-hmm. And because I read a couple of articles from Scotiabank, from the president of the major gold lithium transformer in China, that were quite optimistic about 2026, about the lithium price. And since that time, all my stock are up by 50%, and the lithium price is still going up. Right. Then it means that, but you have to be careful.
Well, how about those markets? Like you brought up rotating money from precious metals into the stuff, the metals like lithium, rare earths, maybe even tungsten. Like these are much smaller markets in comparison. Like gold and copper are kind of at the top, and then it kind of trickles down. Do you have any trepidation about going into those smaller, more niche markets where, especially on the rare earth sides, the information in terms of pricing is much more opaque than it is with the bigger markets?
I don't understand. Maybe you can. Yeah.
Sure. So like for the rare earths, for instance, there's a wide variety that fit into that genre of rare earths. And when I was looking into it and I saw the pricing, the pricing is basically held by China to
Yeah.
try to get active. If you want to look back a year, it's really hard to sort of find that information. And then you have something like what the US government did, and they go and invest in MP materials. They sort of set a floor for MP anyways, in terms of what the pricing of those metals is going to be. So I'm just asking, in my experience, when stuff is more opaque or harder to find, it makes me more nervous in terms of trying to invest in that portion of the market, because I don't really have a good feel of where things are and where they could go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the rare earth, for example, as you know, Trump is trying to diversify. He doesn't want to make deal with China. He is in trouble with China. Then, by just reading, I see that Brazil is probably will become the second best rare earth producers on the planet because they have the same, let's say, geological environment than in China. And now they are working on let's say, the metallurgy, how to extract all these rare earth metals from their soil. And it's very easy to mine. It's at surface. And I think then it's why I started to buy uh, two companies in Brazil, because I feel that this is the best rare earth deposit in the world outside of China. And I think the management is quite good. There is good people behind it. Like the company is called Aclara.
Okay.
And now they make a deal with the U.S. government. They have a new, let's say, a new treatment plant in New Orleans. And it seems that the people that are behind are really the right people. Then it's why it's the only company that I think I bought. And there is a site. I don't have the site here, but there is a site where I can see the price of all metals, the evolution of the metals day per day, month per month, year per year, and since the beginning of the year. And that's I think it's called, is it metaleconomics.com
Okay.
dash commodities. If you go on this site, you see all the metal price, and you can see the evolution of the price. And then if you see, for example, that the vanadium price is going up by 10% in the last month, then when you read, you can look at vanadium, and maybe you will get you will get you will start to look for companies that are mining vanadium and buying these companies. For me, it's a very easy way to make money with the commodities, with the juniors. I was not doing that, let's say, 10 years ago, but it's almost more simple than just evaluate each junior companies.
Right.
Yeah, it's bullish phase, the flavor of the month for the metals, and the personal. That's the three main things that I would suggest to everybody. It's not easy to find the bullish phase. Now we are in the bullish phase, but maybe that's the end. And talking about this bullish phase, I did another study that was interesting. Maybe I can share it with you. It's the price of gold went up from 1970 to 1981, and it increased by 1,000%, and it lasts 11 years. From 2001 to 2012, the price of gold increased by 600%, and it lasts this bullish phase 11 years. Now, if you take that it start in 2015 and we are in 2026, it's 11 years. Then it's the same 11 years than the two previous bullish phase, really bullish phase for gold. And so far it increased by 430%. Then not 600%, not 1,000. Then you can think what you want, but the 11 years to me it speaks by itself. It's we have to be careful. But at the end of this study, I just discovered that there was only things that really why the price of gold is still going up. It's Trump. It's really it's Trump. Without Trump, maybe the price of gold would have stopped at $3,500.
Right.
But now it's going up, and maybe it's the you need every trend needs a, let's say, a promoter, but now the best promoter is Trump. It's yeah, we have to, I'm not agree with him, but he is doing a lot of a great job for us.
That's right. That's right.
Unfortunately.
So you attended all three conferences over the last week. Each of those conference, Metals Investors Forum, BRIC, and Roundup, they're all three of them are very different. Why did you want to go to all three? Was there any specific purpose?
Yes, I would say the metal investors, you were there. The metal investor, I like the format. I like to see you there on the stage with 5 of your recommended companies. I really like it. I think the investor like it. And also it's small and not too big. And you can talk with with your friends and discover. You have a lot of time to talk with the president of a company because they have only, I don't know, maybe 30 booths. It's not 30 or 40 booths. It's not a lot.
Yep.
Then you have to a lot of time to share. And also there are some good people coming, like Rick Rule that came, and then I like it for this. The Rick is a lot bigger with maybe 300 booths there. If you want to know more about the world economy, the evolution of the gold price, and the geopolitical things, I think they have excellent conferences, and but also you can go to all the booths. There are a lot more people. This year it was very, very good. It's a small PDEC, more or less.
Right.
It's smaller PDEC. And the other one is the Roundup that lasts 3 or 4 days. I really like it because a lot of companies are there to show the core, the drilling results with the core and with the maps. And normally it's the geologists that are there, the metallurgists, or everybody in the company. It's not necessarily the president, but it's the technical people. And to me, as a geologist, I like to see the core, and I like to see the people. And sometimes I'm just meeting the companies for a second time or a third time during this week in Vancouver, and to know more and more and more. And there are a lot of people, but not too much. Then you have to, and I would say this year there were maybe 60 companies that show their core.
Wow.
And at the same time, they have junior exploration companies, mainly the companies that have projects to sell as the project generator junior companies, and they are there with their maps. Then with the geologists, they are trying to attract major companies or a partner on their project. Then that's for me, it's very interesting. It's because the rest, there are a lot of booths there, to maybe 400 booths, but they are mining companies or equipment companies. And but I think this week is a great competition with the PDAC. PDAC is quite big. It's maybe too big, but it's I like both. That's and I think if you are a serious investor, you should think about going to Vancouver, going to the PDAC. I know that it costs money. It may cost, for example, from somebody like me from Quebec City, go to Vancouver with the hotel and the meal. Maybe it costs $5,000. But since 20 years, when I go to this convention, I say, well, okay, if I'm going to this convention, if it costs me $5,000, I have to make $100,000, 20 times that it cost me to go there by finding a good companies in which to invest. That's my challenge, let's say, more or less. I can tell you that I probably did a lot more, but if you are a serious investor, you should go to this convention. You learn a lot and you develop your network.
Absolutely.
That's very important, as you know. It's the networking is very, very important.
For sure. Well, so, I think I would say that in my experience talking to investors, a lot of them know the importance and they want to go, but a lot of them have 9-to-5 jobs and they'll say, I can only go to one conference per year. So how would you suggest to these people, hey, this is how you can go about picking the right one for you? How can an investor, you just described 3 different conferences in Vancouver, and then you've got PDAC, you've got Rick's event in Boca, you've got New Orleans Investment Conference, you've got a whole bunch of choice. How does an investor say, okay, I can only go to one of these per year. Which one should I go to? And I'm not saying to pick, you don't need to tell me which of those conferences, but how would somebody work it out themselves to find out which conference is going to help them the most?
Yeah, well, I would say PDAC is still my probably first choice because it's in Toronto. It's a lot of investors, but I would say Vancouver. It's the Vancouver, one of these 3 metal investors, but if you take the plane, you go in Vancouver, you probably try to stay there 5 or 6 days instead of just a couple of days. And as I explain it to you, it's you will learn a lot, and that's the other conferences organized by the newsletter writer. I like them, but I stopped to go there because New Orleans costs a lot of money to be invited, and it's a nice city, but I prefer PDAC and Vancouver. That's more or less that's the best.
So how are you positioning your portfolio in terms of mix of companies? Are you concentrating on explorers rather than developers? And I know you talked about the sequencing and matching it with the cycle, and that makes a lot of sense. So then, by the way that you were talking, if we're later in the cycle, does that mean you are concentrating more on the explorers? And if you are, do you also try to have more conviction where you had taking bigger percentages of your portfolio into a single company, or are you spreading it out?
Well, as an investor, I should start by telling you that I am a kind of an investor that is 80% like Warren Buffett. Then when I buy a stock, it's for life. Okay, and 20% is on commodities, let's say, okay, and junior exploration companies, and mostly juniors. And now I see in the last 1 year, my percentage decrease with the junior exploration companies. Okay. Now I am 85, 15%. in the good years, let's say in 24 to 2004 to 2009 or 11, sometime it became 50-50 because my stock was really performing very well. Now it's 85-15%. And I would say that right now, when I buy a stock, is I'm trying to find junior exploration companies with a lot of potential. In terms of drilling, the next drilling program, it's my focus. The other companies that I have, I just look at them and hopefully it will go up. But it really depends on the price of gold. Right. Then I have to take in the next week, next month, I have to take a decision to decrease my and become more cash, to decrease my position with the junior. It will depend on the price of gold and my feeling. Sometimes, it's an emotional world. Sometimes a morning I can say, well, okay, I am a buyer today, and the day after I'm a seller. Mm-hmm. Okay, then it's tough. It's not easy business, but everybody will tell you that probably it's a time to sell 50% of your position. But I have no, I would say, I will not buy Agnico Eagle or Franco-Nevada at this price. Well, if the price of gold is going to $10,000, well, that's it means that it won't be the end of the world, but it means that there will be something that is very, very serious. And I think the price of gold, if the price of gold go to $10,000, we will not see any Huyol triple or quadruple. I think the market will become a lot suspicious and say will be afraid to see a big crash. Right. That's maybe indicate that it's maybe the end of the bullish phase. But I don't know. That's to tell you the truth, man. I'm just happy to see the price of gold going up by $250 today.
Absolutely. Well, it's definitely an uncertain and risky world that we live in right now. Yes. That surely plays into why the gold price is moving how it is. Yeah. You mentioned earlier about people, and they are definitely the driving force behind these companies, whether it's juniors or even up to the seniors. Rick Rule often says that if he had just invested in the same handful of people for his whole career without testing out new ones, he would be a lot richer than he is today. And I saw, you talked about having a core number of positions in your portfolio. And when you're looking for sort of more of those core positions, are you just investing in those same people that you've had success with? Or are you going out there and looking for new people to invest in?
I would say both. Well, for sure, there are in your mind and my mind, we are people that we really like. And if these peoples are going in new companies or moving to another companies, we will follow them because we know that these guys are able to create value. That's very important. But I know that also there are a lot of people that I don't want to invest with them because they are there. That's the most important thing. Yeah. It's maybe the stock might double, but it will be for a few days or, that's the most important thing. There are people that you should just put on the side and say, well, okay, if he's making money, if stock is multiplied by 100% or 1000%, doesn't bother me. But I don't want to be with these guys. Absolutely. And I think that's the first thing that you should recognize. And you also should recognize that I would like to have a list of the, the best, let's say, honest promoter, let's say, in the world in terms of junior exploration companies. I have a list, a small list, but I would like to spend more time just to find the best guy that you should follow. It's G Mining. It's a good example. G Mining. I know the guy was Louis Gignac. He was the president of Cambior, but his sons are all mining metallurgists, engineers, and they had a nice company called G Mining. It was a kind of a company that it was not in exploration, not in mining. They were just consultant.
G Mining Services.
Yes, G Mining Services, and they start to build mines for major companies. And one day, these guys, well, they didn't talk to me, but they started to buy 20% of the shares of a small company that was at 15 cents. Then when I look at it and say, well, these guys are quite capable. And then the stock now is at $40. They had to find a good projects in which to invest. But because of the experience of these guys, everything is going up and up. And maybe next year they will be producing 500,000 ounces of gold per year. Then this is the kind of guy that you should look and find, and I think it's what you do in your newsletter. Also, you are really focused on the right people, but we have to also to find the new one. It's not easy. There is a lot of old guys in this business. The young guy, G Mining, for example, it's a young guy, 40 years old. But for a lot of them, maybe Rick Rule, it's because he wants to stay with his old guys. It's because you have to learn to look for the youngest guy. That's and be ready to invest in their companies.
Absolutely. And the Gignacs are a great example of good people. I made a good amount of money from G Mining, and I was actually surprised when I bought that under $1, considering what they had in Tocantinzinho and their track record for success on the G Mining services side, that more people didn't jump on that bandwagon. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Those are the kind of people you want to attach to and follow and invest in. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
At this point, is there any companies that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. Well, I would say I have a list of a few companies here, and it's where I put some money recently.
Okay.
On these companies. I'm not. Doesn't mean that the stock will go up, but it's a good example of the company that I invested in because of their small market cap, good management, but mainly because they have what I think good exploration projects. They will be drilling in the next 6 months, and just one good hole will probably you will make more than 1,000% with these stocks. Okay. And the first one is called Red Canyon.
Okay.
It's REDC. It's they have projects in BC. They are looking for porphyry copper deposits and porphyry gold copper deposits. And their projects are quite interesting in terms of geology. And also they have one project in the Carlin Trend in Nevada that has a kind of an alteration zone typical around the porphyry copper gold deposit that is quite similar to the ones that is associated with the major porphyry gold copper deposit in the world. And on the, let's say, corporate presentation, they have a slide showing the alteration zone that they have in Nevada compare with maybe 20 other deposit alteration zone around 20 other deposits in the world. It's the size is very, very important. When you have this kind of anomaly, you have to look at the intensity. The intensity is lower than the other one, but maybe it's just because the deposit is a lot deeper. It's not at surface. It's maybe 200 or 300, 400 meters below the surface. Okay. But this is a good example. This slide on the corporate presentation is a good slide, one I mentioned in my book, comparison. This is a geological comparison or a geochemical comparison, but this is, I really like this comparison. And I think the personal is quite good also. It's and the stock, I think they have only 63 million shares and the market cap is 14 million. Okay. That's I'm not a promoter of this company, but I like what they have. There is another company that is pretending that they have the best on-drill gold projects in Nevada. Okay, it's called Phenom. Phenom, it's like phenomenal, but it's a PHNM. It's called the project is called the Dobbin Gold Project, and they are going to drill this project in probably July, August. They should get their permit in June and drill it in July, August. It's a geochemical anomalies of 2 or 3 kilometers long with 1 gram and more at surface. And it's a good geological environment. And let's say, they can drill there and get another gold deposit in Nevada. It's just to be too nice to be good, but it's interesting. And there is another company called Precipitate. Okay. It's PRG. They are in Dominican Republic. They have a nice geophysical anomaly near the Pueblo Viejo deposit, which is one of the largest gold producers in the world. It's operated by Barrick, but they have a property just a few kilometers from the deposit and with a nice geophysical anomaly. And also they have some interesting project near the Gold Quest gold copper deposit in Dominican Republic. They are going to drill, I think, in July, August also. And that's a lot of time. And there is maybe another company that it's Kingfisher. Okay. It's a KFR. They had a very nice drill intersection just on the side of a potential porphyry copper deposit. And now during the summertime, it's in BC. You have to wait the summertime to drill when you are in the northern part of BC. But they are going to drill what they think the core of this potential porphyry copper gold deposit. That's interesting. I like Getchell. Getchell is a nice gold deposit in Nevada. They have $65 million market cap, which is quite low. And I think they have 2 million ounces of gold. Then it's, $32 per ounce in this market is very, very low. Then it's a cheap, but you have to do, everybody must do their homework before buying these stocks. I like, in copper, I like 3 companies, PCU, it's a project in Peru. It's I don't know, 865 million tons at 0.34% copper. I suppose they have $30 million, enough to drill this project, and to find the main objective is to find copper high grade in this deposit to start if they are going in to mine it, they will start with the highest grade. In Quebec, we have the Osisko metal, which is in Gaspésie. It's more than 1 billion tons of deposit at 0.34% copper. It's still low grade, but it seems that the market is the stock market. The market cap is $680 million. It seems that the market like it, and the stock is going up from 40 cents to $1, and they are having great success. It may cost $5 billion to develop this deposit, but we need new copper deposit. There is no copper deposit that has been really found in the last 10 years. We will have a lack of copper producers. And the other one is Copper Giant. It's in Bolivia. It's $96 million market cap, but they have 1.1 billion tons at 0.51% copper equivalent. It's in fact 0.31% copper plus 0.039% molybdenum. And this is the copper, it's the three last companies are in the copper business. You recommended Firefly. Yeah, I think on your newsletter. I like this company too. They are finding more and more by drilling deeper the deposit. It's fantastic. That would be a mine, that's for sure. I really like it. And there is another company called Firefox Gold. They are in Finland.
Yep.
And what I'm interested is because they got good high-grade intersection, like 10 meters at 12 grams. That is a company that I would say everybody should follow and see. They might discover. They are in the right environment. That's anyway. That's enough.
Fantastic. The book, The Art of Investing in Junior Mining. Where can people find it? And where could people contact you if they want to follow you, contact you?
Okay. Well, the book, you just go on Amazon and you punch a book and The Art of Investing in Junior Mining. Contact me. You can go on the www.investinginjuniors.com, and then there is a place where you can send me an email and asking me questions. I receive a lot of questions and comments, and I try to answer everybody. It's not always easy, but that's the way it is. And my book, there is a bookstore in during the PDAC, and last year I bought some books there, and I sold all of them. Then I will try to do the same thing in this year, but it's a lot better to call it on Amazon. It's $30, and they will deliver it to your home for another $4 or $5. That's
yeah. Well, it's a great book, and I think especially for anybody that's just getting interested in junior mining, this is definitely got to be a book that you have on your bookshelf or next to your bed or your desk, wherever. You did a great job with it, Jacques. Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe one thing that I was surprised when people told me that the book helped them to ask better questions to Chat GPT.
Really? Good.
Yes. I was surprised. Somebody told me that he has a program and he is asking really a lot of better questions to chat GPT to anyway, it's that I was surprised. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Any way it helps, I think is
Yeah.
good, especially for new investors. Jacques, thank you so much for the great conversation. We'll definitely have to do this again soon.
Thank you very much for having me.